Hey, we got a good show lined up for you today.
20 years into the internet for the auto industry.
To me, that's the biggest change of what's going on.
I don't necessarily know what you feel is a good definition of a connected car.
I use the term connectivity in a very broad sense. It's how we're connected, you know? So our phones connect us, and it doesn't even have to be digital. I think it's just the sense of connectivity. But with cars, to me, it's communication with each other. I think that's the literal definition, is cars communicating with each other or a central system. So I think that's a part of it. And I also think, our lives are in our phones, and our cars are an extension of that. And that's the biggest disconnect that I see is, for instance, I drive a Jeep Cherokee, and it's a 2017. And if it syncs to my phone through Bluetooth and it sees my contacts, but when I hit favorites on my car, it's not my favorites on my phone,
Wow.
So, there's these little things that, okay, I got to set up a whole new set of favorites.
Yeah, and that's kind of something that's a little different. And I noticed with the different OEMs and different cars that we have, when you hook up Apple Play, it does have my favorites and stuff in there, depending upon if it's BMW, Mini, Land Rover, Volkswagen, or Jaguar. When you look at all these different ones, they all connect a little bit differently and do something a little bit differently. Most people, growing up, I just wanted to Bluetooth connect my phone to it and be able to go hands-free, and that's it. But the way my phone's hooked up now to a lot of these vehicles, I don't even need navigation. From my phone, I can click on my apps, and I can click on my Google Maps app, or I can click on a Waze app. If I click on an app, it actually will show it on the screen of my car. So, it just depends upon the OEM and the type, and for that is one of the reasons why I like to go to the Chicago Auto Show, is to see all those new connective features. It's nice to have the Wi-Fi extension and the LTE in the cars, but it's nice to know what, how your phone connects, how it operates within the apps, how do the Wi-Fi work? And like you said, is it going to store your favorites? I think every year they update technology. And every time you get an iPhone 10 come out, something different happens with how it connects to your phone, or a Samsung 9 or whatever. I think that one of the big things with these connected cars, a lot of people don't realize, is what is the shared data that we actually give up between our phones, our cars, and all the different agencies in the world. People actually connect with Facebook through their phone in their car and hold conversations, or they, more or less voice text people. Does your car have Alexa in it? Does it have Cortana in it? And we just had a conversation about voice search optimization and websites, but your car is one of those portals now. Not only do you have a Google Home, not only does your phone have Siri, not only do people have Alexa, not only does your cable boxes have voice commands, but now your car is integrated too. And it's all that data everybody's collecting, which is scary.
It's
we need to look at our what type of data.
That is such a, I think, overlooked idea from consumers, that rest assured, the tech companies, the data companies, do not overlook that. We are a currency. Data is today's currency. And, just like, with social media, with Facebook, with LinkedIn, we are the currency there. What we do in our cars, where we go, how we drive, the activities that we do, we're creating all this data, and we don't own it. There are conversations about how can consumers basically almost get rebates for the data that they're providing.
So Ford and Google got together, I know, and I think there was a gentleman I met him a couple of years ago. Dealer Inspire sponsored like a retreat that they have once a year. So I went to the Yellow Box Church, and I got in there a little late, but I caught kind of the end of his conversation, and he was talking about that he had wrote a book, and that he was talking about how Google and Ford patented the process of collecting that data in a vehicle and then allowing it to be measured into a dollar amount, to where either the whole car, you could drive it for free, or a portion of it would be rebated back to you through the OEM for them to pay you and compensate you for your data. If you ordered food from your car, or your car knew the weather temperature outside, or if you hit a pothole in the street, it would tell the highway, National Highway Safety, whatever agency, and say, hey, there's a pothole here, here on 5th Street in Naperville at this corner.
Mm-hmm.
And it would tell that data to state and local agencies that you should be compensated for that, and that your driving habits would be known, and that it would tell the manufacturers and the OEMs and the car dealerships, hey, this person drives on average of 22,000 miles a year when they log in. But because your data is syncing with your phone, and your phone knows everything else about you, and your phone syncs with your house and your Wi-Fi and your habits and your Comcast, and all this data just syncing for that, how that you can, have a connected car, and they would actually compensate you to do it. That nobody's ever come out with it yet, because I think that everybody's so caught up in, let's make everything electronic first. Harley wants to make electronic motorcycles. You have whole car lines that say, hey, we want to get rid of cars and just go to SUVs, and let's go to hybrids and electrical. So, as we evolve, we're really going into a lot more, hey, let's be autonomous. I know you and I had a conversation, and we were talking about, hey, you should be able to go to your car, go to the app, and you should schedule service. Right. You said, no, hey, I want the car to drive it to the dealership.
Do it for me.
Day, go get it and drive it back. We're in a very cool time right now. And I think the auto show is a great place to go and see a lot of those things, and especially the future of what's coming. The prototypes are neat. The test tracks are always neat, that usually Chrysler puts those on. But I always look from the auto business perspective, especially when I go there. I usually go there with 2 or 3 people, sometimes 4 with me. Master Ulu, he's kind of a student, great guy. He goes to a lot of car shows, so he's kind of neat to take with to the car show. We have a videographer that he comes out and he does some raw video for us. We go there and we take pictures, we write articles for our blogs and advertisements. But one of the things we're looking for is a lot to do with stuff with safety and reliability. So like last year when the Atlas came out, or the year before actually, they had a lot of information about its crash ratings in Volkswagen. And that information is useful because you put it in video, and from the experts there and the OEM, you compare it to other vehicles, and you can do that comparison part on your website and kind of validate stuff. So customers aren't, the way I look at it, customers aren't calling us at the dealership level anymore to ask us any questions. Everything is available on YouTube. And when people really look at these cars at the auto show, they're going there to kind of validate. But to be honest with you, you can go to a virtual auto show or showroom at any given time, which is about every manufacturer nowadays. But it's still great to go there to the auto show, touch, get in and out of the cars, talk to the people, see all the new features. So what do you plan on doing this year at the auto show?
Well, let me do a quick just orientation for those that are tuned in live here to AutoConverse, our live broadcast. And I'm Ryan Gerardi. Today's Wednesday, the 30th of January, and this is Dave Rozek, who you're here talking as well. And we're here to get a first look at the 2019 Chicago Auto Show. Dave and I will both be attending the 2 media days. So the show opens up Saturday, February 9th, and runs through the 18th for the public. But Thursday and Friday before that are media days. Technically, Thursday is media, and Friday is social media days. And so the manufacturers, the exhibitors all have special events and activities. And so Dave works with Bill Jacobs Auto Group here in the Chicago area. And as you were just saying, Dave, you are going there with Master Ulu, who's a video blogger, and you got to be looking at, kind of your agenda as it pertains to your interests, not just personally, but for the dealer group. To answer your question, I look for kind of the fun activities. So, for example, Hyundai is doing a social media activity on Friday, which I'll talk about in just a moment. There's the tracks. Jeep, I always think, has the coolest track. Sometimes they'll let me get in there with my camera and record going up and down. Land Rover has they typically have a really high tower that they drive up, and then I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it goes up, and then it's on like a seesaw, and it swings down, and then you go down. Cool. Dodge has some cool stuff. So yeah, I look for the fun activities. And, I meant to say, for folks that tune in regularly, you'll notice that I have a different background. It was, over 20 below this morning here in Chicago, and I couldn't get my car started. So I am in my makeshift home studio today, streaming to do this. And I'm just glad I'm able to do that. And I'm glad that Dave, that you're here to join in as well. Let me ask you, I'll share my screen, but tell us a little bit about Master Ulu.
So Master Ulu is one of probably a dozen different YouTube bloggers and Facebook bloggers, videographers, marketing people that, we work with. So he does some neat videos. He goes to a lot of car shows. Just starting out though, he's got a couple decent subscribers. He gets some, decent, viewing. I know he does some stuff at the Lamborghini dealer in Downers Grove. I think that's Perillo. He does some stuff with us, but he's just a car enthusiast. And he kind of gives you some real perspectives on his point of view, and we got that from a couple different guys that we work with and gals. Like I said, there's probably about a dozen different bloggers and YouTubers we work with, but Ulu's a great guy. He's up and coming. We'll give him a vehicle. We'll go out with him a lot of times. He'll drive it, and he'll just, talk about the car. Like I said, that's a big deal in, today's marketing, simply because people trust YouTube, who are auto intenders, 100% more than what they trust anything else. And, it's nice because you can get all that data now from Google and YouTube. When you look at TV, the average person looks at TV and, you look at what their KPIs are and how many people they're reaching, but 99% of the people watching TV that you're advertising to have no intention of buying a car. People who are watching car videos, a lot more of those people are auto intenders, and they're those high value users that we talk about. They're people that look at the videos, they come, to the store, but the main thing is that you can do pre-roll video to them on Facebook and YouTube. And people like Ulu give that perspective, out there where people can say, hey, I'm looking for a Jaguar I-Pace. And as soon as we got the I-Pace in, and it was a cold day, it was nasty out, and he came in and he did a little video on it and drove it. But the perspective you're getting from him, it's not staged. There's no script. He just puts a camera up and starts talking, and tells you how he feels. So I think that's kind of a nice, true validation. And sometimes people get, they're not paid people. They're just people coming out to give their opinion and drive. Mm-hmm. But they don't always say the things that, like, the manufacturer or the dealership may like to hear. Mm-hmm. But I don't like that type of canned stuff. We like people to be genuine. We like to hire genuine people. We tell our people to be genuine people. So we like genuine type of grassroots type of blog.
So that's great, because it's quite a contrast. On the other end of the spectrum, so when I go to the auto show, I go and do live streaming interviews at the booths, and I typically try to find someone who is permitted, because not everyone's permitted to be in media. So I have to coordinate with a product specialist or a spokesperson, and sometimes that person is an actor or an actress. Right, and they've just studied the product and the language that they have to speak. Sometimes they have a routine, like every 30 or 40 minutes they do they're in front of a car and they do a spiel. Sometimes they can talk with me, sometimes they can't. So it just varies from manufacturer to manufacturer. And so yeah, I'm actually trying to engage with those kind of canned professional spokespeople to get on camera, and we do stream them live on the AutoConverse Facebook page. So for folks that want to catch that, what I want you to do is go to autoconverse.com, click on our Facebook link, or search for AutoConverse on Facebook, and there's an event up there, and it shows me, it's scheduled for Thursday and Friday, and it shows me, and if you mark yourself as interested in that event, then you'll get notified when we go live. And typically between Thursday, which is most of the day, I'll be there from about 8 to 3, 8 to 4. But Friday's only a half a day. I'll be there from about 8 to noon. It's a bit of setup and whatnot. So we'll probably get a good 10 to 12 booth visits at least throughout those couple of days. What I'd like to do, Dave, is maybe get into some of the specific events. So as we said, the show opens up on Saturday the 9th. But on Thursday the 8th and Thursday the 7th and Friday the 8th are the media days. And then Friday evening is the first look for charity. So folks, if you go to ChicagoAutoShow.com, you'll see First Look for Charity as one of the menu options. And it's a fundraiser for local charities. And tickets, I think, are about $275. I know that the CATA, that's the association that puts on the auto show every year, projects that they expect to raise over $2.5 million for the local charities. So they've been doing this for over 27 years, and they've raised over $50 million over this period of time. So that is Friday, February 8th in the evening, I think at 7 o'clock. And Dave, I know you've been there. It's a black tie event, right? Is it, as long as you buy a ticket?
Go there every year.
Is that the only requirement? You just buy a ticket?
The nice thing is that, you get to go to the first look. I mean, it is a formal event. They have great, people handling the food but there are some specialty things there. There's usually like a supercar section that's usually not open to the public. It's usually closed, so you can walk around the supercars. Usually during that black tie event, they let people come in, only so many at a time to come in and look at some of those exotic cars. So that's always one of my favorite things to do when I go to the black tie event. Usually I go to some of the private parties for the different charities, because we have different things that we donate to and different, doctors that we work with sponsoring different things for local charities. And you get to rub shoulders with some of their editors and talk to them about the auto show. And, being part of the media day is wonderful too, because you have newspapers from all around the world, and writers and bloggers, and just a whole mix of people and creative people. And just, when you're talking to all those people on the media days, everybody's telling you about all the cool things and what they're saying, what they're seeing. And then they're actually sitting in the newsroom writing their articles and posting their stuff, which it's
the media center's
cool.
neat. It's very buzzing.
Oh yeah. It's everybody's buzzing in there. Everybody, I mean, you meet some of the reporters from a lot of these national magazines like Car Driver and stuff. And just our local guys from the Tribune and ABC 7. I mean, everybody's in there. There's ironically, I'm always part of different things at the auto show. Sometimes there's different round table discussions. Sometimes there's some open forums. Some of the OEMs will invite different guest speakers in to talk about like Women's Day, like in automotive and stuff like that. We're really focused, like I said, on things with safety and new technology. One of the big topics that I think a lot of people are talking about is subscription-based ownership. So I'm curious to see at the auto show if there's going to be a vendor talking about that. I know at Bill Jacobs, we have what's called Shift by Bill Jacobs, and we do subscription-based ownership. Mm-hmm. But I'm curious to see when we go there, because the OEMs are all backing those type of programs where they have all these car fleets available and you pay a flat price and you get to drive and flip from car to car. It's a very cool concept.
And some have already bailed on the concept. Well, just to wrap up the First Look for Charity, they do a vehicle giveaway. They're giving away 2 vehicles this year, a Chevy Blazer and a Jeep Compass. So basically, if you purchase a First Look charity ticket and attend, you have to be in attendance to win. They're giving away 2 different cars. So just kind of an added incentive. Dave, what I'd like to do is segue into some of the vehicles for just a few minutes. Now on the site, they have a section that says vehicles on display, and they separate between production vehicles. So those are vehicles that are out on the market, vehicles that are being debuted, and there's quite a few being debuted. It looks like Toyota's bringing back the Supra. That's pretty cool. Yeah. You mentioned the I-Pace, the Jaguar I-Pace, Jeep Gladiators being debuted. the Hyundai Palisades there's just a lot being debuted there. And really only 2 concept vehicles. So in your case, with Bill Jacobs, you guys represent multiple brands. From a vehicle, just a vehicle standpoint, what is there anything in particular looking that will be a first for you to see?
I always look for our competitors' vehicles and to see, what they have new. And then I kind of look at ours and kind of do that versus type of stuff. So, I'll walk in and I'll look at, hey, Chevy's got this type of vehicle, the Traverse, and what's new on the Traverse. And then I'll look at our Atlas, and then I'll compare it to maybe a Jeep Cherokee or some vehicle than theirs. So I always kind of do a little bit of a versus segment. And I always do some blogging and some posts and some social media posts. Like I said, it comes down to technology and safety. Those are my 2 big buzz areas. But the comparison and information that we get from going there and getting really to see the other brands. And I just pick the brains of all the competitors. And even if they're the paid actor, what's so special about this vehicle? What does it compare to? What's the gas mileage on it? What's the crash rating on it? Can the car drive itself yet? All those questions. It's just, I just go around to each one asking those people, what's new? Tell me what's great about this new car coming, this year. But, you always get that looking forward. Hey, in 2020, we have this. I think this will be one of our biggest shows ever. And, unlike last year, hopefully we won't get a lot of snow. I think we got snowed in the first day. We got pretty hard.
I got
on one of the media days.
Yeah, I got all discombobulated because I couldn't get in. I could only attend one media day. I couldn't do both just because of my schedule. And that's when the snow hit. And I tried to get out of Naperville. I mean, you know what it's like on a snow day like that, getting from Naperville to the city. And I couldn't make it. So I got there for like half a day Friday. I've got like 5 interviews in. It was a disappointment for me.
My videographer Pierre went last year, and because we didn't want to drive in the snow, but he just jumped on a train, and he said, "Hey, it was great." He goes, "I got on a train, I got there." He goes, "I Ubered over." He goes, "I Ubered out back to the train and home." So and it was a terrible day for driving. So yeah. I'm glad I didn't.
I got too much equipment to bring on a train. Well, very good. So I will see you there. And I'll get you and Master Ulu on camera. And, I've got the agenda. The agenda here, it does, the media day agenda doesn't say a whole lot. It just lists when different manufacturers have news conferences and vehicle debuts. But, again, I'm looking more for the new technologies inside these cars. That's what we're on the prowl for. Stuff that's just groundbreaking and first to the scene. Well, look, go ahead if you want a last word there.
But no, this is supposed to be the year for all that new technology, because last year there wasn't that much, and this is supposed to be the year when they're going to tell us when all these cars are going to be driving themselves. And I'm looking forward to all the new technology right now. But this is the show that's supposed to tell it, so I'm looking forward to it.
I would say when you're in the business that we're in and you're got a pulse on the evolution of the innovation, not just on an annual basis, but on a daily basis, you're keeping up with it all. But if you think about it, if you haven't been to an auto show in 2, 3, or 4 or 5 years, right? And you come to these now, it's just got to be out of this world, I would think. It's just got to be phenomenal. So it's exciting even when you're part of it. And on a final note, folks, there is a local athlete here, Barbie Keck, who has reached out to me because of our show, because of AutoConverse. And if you're not familiar yet with Red Bull Crashed Ice, I was telling Dave, Crashed Ice is basically like roller derby on ice, literally on ice skates downhill. And it's a mixed gender sport. Well, it's probably women compete against women and men against men, but they're having a competition the same weekend of the beginning of the auto show in Boston. And Barbie Keck, again, she's from Milwaukee, pretty much a local Chicago Crash Bull ice competitor. And I told her I'd give her a big shout, and any brands out there that think they could benefit from some sort of sponsorship with an event like this, this is an opportunity to get your brand in front of hundreds of thousands of eyeballs over that competition. So you can reach out to myself, and I can make an introduction, or you can reach out to Barbie directly. And if you do me a favor and just let her know that you found out about her because of our show, because of AutoConverse and Ryan Gerardi. She does have a fan page you can check out, Crash Barbie, on Facebook. And while I'm here, if you like this show, if you like what you see today, do me a favor. Search for AutoConverse on Facebook. We have a recurring event, and you can mark yourself as interested, and then you'll get notifications every time we schedule an event, which is every week. Next week, we're going to be looking at all the Super Bowl ads, the good and the bad and the ugly of the Super Bowl ads, and I've got my friend Terry Lancaster coming on to do that together. If you like the show, get dialed in with us on AutoConverse, and if you want to tune in to the live streaming, the interviews that I'm going to be doing at the auto show next week, I set up an event on Facebook as well, AutoConverse Live from the Chicago Auto Show. So mark yourself as interested there, and you will get notified every time that we go live. And last but not least, if you want to have this show sent to you right on your phone, get your phone out right now. Mine is my monitor, so it's over there. And text the keyword AutoConverse to 64600. And every week when we go live, we'll send you the link. You can set yourself a reminder and watch it later, or you can join us live. If you haven't been to our watch page, go to autoconversion.net / just look for Watch AutoConverse, and say hello and let us know what you think of the show. And I think that covers it. So Dave, great having you here and seeing you again. I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you inviting us.
All right, everyone, we're going to shut down and stop our videos, and we're going to end the live stream, and we'll see you next week, same time, same place. Take care, everyone.